Hey guys, per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So, pumping out some articles on Brave New Coin, check those out. The latest BTC article was chock full of information. Talk about those charts in the video. Had a great conversation with Brian about decentralized exchanges. Check that out if you're interested. Let's get to some charts. The monthly, oh baby. So I haven't made a video in a while. It's been at least a month, I think, for me. I haven't really had much to say. There's not much going on like macro level. It's kind of just trying to figure itself out. Is it going to be continuation here? Is it going to pull a 2013 and just, death spiral unwind down to, whatever, $500? Who knows? What I'm seeing now is a much clearer picture than I did throughout the month of February, which is bullish. I'm biased because I've got skin in the game, whatever. But there are other reasons, and I'll get to those. So firstly, on the monthly, the previous candle closed a bullish reversal-ish type candle. Call it a dragonfly, call it a pin bar, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it says, we tried to dip, drop, die, hang the noose in the gallows, and it didn't happen. We pulled up, and it closed green, so that's good. That's more bullish than had it closed red. This is like, what are you going to do with that? Can you trade on that? I don't know. It's just all these things together you got to look at. So there's that. We're on the weekly cloud here, back above the Kijun. We have been above the Kijun since breaking it in 2015, which is why it's been such a strong buy zone every single time it's dipped down. This is definitely an anomaly. It's a signal that the trend may have ended or may be ending when you see that on any other time frame. That's what I'm thinking. Support is support until it's not support, right? Trend is your friend until the end. So again, it's not clear on this time frame as much as it is on the monthly to me that this is continuation, other than we're above the Kijun. It could be one of these situations over here. I don't know. We'll see. That doesn't help. Whatever. So here is 4 hours to show you where we've been, how we got here. I saw something about Peter Brandt saying that diagonal head and shoulders necklines means it's not a head and shoulders, but Peter Brandt is allergic to diagonal lines, so I don't care if you don't believe in diagonal lines, but I'm going to trade this one like a head and shoulders, and I'm going to trade the one that's forming right now as a head and shoulders. Very clearly a descending volume profile, very clearly had a pop in volume after breaking what I'm going to call, bravely, the diagonal neckline. So we keep getting these reversal type chart pattern fractals, inverted head and shoulders here, falling wedge here. There was actually another inverted head and shoulders here. There was another falling wedge here. It doesn't look great at the moment, but the EMAs in the cloud look pretty good on the 4 hour. So again, you're getting descending volume every time. And here was like a equilateral flag, bear flag, whatever you want to call it, that broke down. And another flag. So, on the way down, I was seeing bear fractals. Again, this tells me we've kind of turned the corner here. We're getting these bull fractals over and over again, keep making higher lows. Even here, when this didn't break out initially, I wasn't concerned because it didn't make a lower low this whole time after basically putting in the shoulder here. So this is a good example of being patient with these. You can always enter wherever you want. I'm not going to hold your hand on what to do, but it's always better, probability-wise, to wait for breaking the neckline. You lucked out here because, like I said, you just kept getting higher highs or higher lows on each dip, but it definitely was murky in that area. I remember sitting through that when I was in New Zealand, but as soon as it broke, it was like sigh of relief. Okay, like this is real. It's probably definitely the bottom for the moment. But that's what you want to watch. And the reason I'm being so specific about this is because I'm thinking about the current head and shoulders, and I'll get to that in a second. So why I'm so incredibly bullish, more than anything else, is the fact that we've reset everything on the daily, completely on the cloud. TK bearish, cloud bearish, lagging span bearish, price obviously below the cloud bearish. The last time that's happened, and the only other time that's happened since 2015, was the Bitfinex hack in August 2016. We dropped like 30%, which is nothing compared to this, 70%. And you can see broke through the cloud and went on to go times 15, 16x from there. That was at like 650. So that's why I can't like overstate why this is so important here if we break out again. It's like a TK recross above the cloud. Like that's how bullish this should be and should act. And obviously the first pain points or horizontal resistance are going to be just local highs, which in this case are all-time highs. But that's where we're headed if we break above the cloud. And the other thing is this is a learning channel. People are trying to learn, right? This isn't me like saying, oh, how good am I? I'm finding this stuff early. It's just showing you that you can see this. The earlier you see this stuff, the earlier you can develop a roadmap and a plan and trading around it. Okay, so, you can see this coming. This was February 22nd. As soon as you get a shoulder and a head, you can say, all right, maybe it's a head and shoulders. You can buy wherever you want. You can sell wherever you want. We had a great Kijun bounce bearish there. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, it's game on for this head and shoulders. I was sold. And the other thing is this Kumo twist, which when it's happening is a sign of the current trend. So when it happened, 30 periods back, I think it was probably around here, super bearish. But when you approach the Kumo twist with price, that is an opportunity to go through, which is why, again, I'm so bearish or bullish on March 6th being the day or sometime near the day. It's almost too perfect. It's like bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, 2 outs. The count is 3 and 2. That's how I feel. Like I'm so pumped for this next month, basically, to see how this plays out. That's a baseball metaphor for anybody who doesn't know baseball. So again, I was talking about Kijun, so support, and then it breaks, and then it's resistance immediately, and it tested that, and it smacked it down hard. It was a nice shooting star, not hanging man, gravestone, whatever you want to call it, gravestone or shooting star, doji, that brought us back down. So if you're trading all of that perfectly, you can trade that. I didn't trade that. I know people who did trade that effectively, simply based on Kijun bounce bearishly. I wouldn't count on that again to happen here. It's not a bad move to go through with that anyway. Have some asks here with a tight stop. I don't think it's a smart play, but that doesn't mean it can't be played that way. And again, March 6th. This is how it would play out. It's diagonal, so it's harder to measure as far as the measured move and the fibs and things, but again, somewhere around these local highs, even 16, 15.5, whatever it is, it's gonna pause at the 13.5, which is the break point, the cliff of this triangle sort of thing. As always, any triangle point is support and resistance on the horizontal. And stop loss for this is always the same, it's the shoulder. So again, it's diagonal neckline. Peter Brandt, you're great, whatever. But I don't care. It's you can also just draw this as a horizontal. Do that too. I don't care what you do. And again, I just keep showing this over and over again because I'm just so ready. I'm super biased, obviously, but I wouldn't be as biased if I didn't see it on the chart. So yeah, head and shoulders, Kumo twist. I mean, it's a Cinderella story, folks. And this was Bitfinex, just to show you what happened there. When this happened, I drew this. There's a chart on Twitter. I should have found it, but I drew the same thing for this that I drew for the current situation. It's going to drop and then come through the Kumo twist. What actually happened is it broke early and it reached down for the twist. So whenever price is above or below a twist and it has momentum, it will almost always reach either with a wick or whatever. There wasn't momentum here to reach for this, so it doesn't always happen, but when it's close to it, it'll almost always test it. So I don't doubt that we're at least going to pop to this point. We'll see what happens. If it breaks, whatever, but at the very least it'll probably break that, and if we get a TK cross before then, that's even better, a bullish TK cross. So that was August. Here's the 4-hour cloud. What more do you want? It's a TK cross bullish above the cloud. Doesn't look like much at the moment. Can easily go south, obviously. These are stronger plays when the macro trend is very clear, as it was for the past couple of years or whatever. Again, we're like sideways mode, macro, or grinding. Not exactly bullish yet, so we'll see. And that's not like a cop out for the cloud or what I'm saying, but it's certainly not as strong. At the same time, it's still a super strong signal because it's a bullish TK cross above a bullish cloud. It's a double bull. Mess with the bull, you get the horns. And here's a 4-hour, shows the same thing. You're getting a bullish 4-hour cross. The last cross was late. It came back down. Whatever, EMAs aren't my favorite anyway. But this again illustrates things aren't like clear. It's a little bit trying to figure itself out here. Lastly, let's talk about the pitchforks a little bit. So this was the pitchfork, the original, the OG from the first sort of trend state, I guess you can say. It seems like to me, just visually, there's obviously something happening here, and then something very different happening here. That isn't illustrated greatly on this, which is why I've kind of switched to this, which is basically the most recent, so a year. It's the past year, basically, that trend, okay? So it's telling me, besides that we're going to hit at least the median line by July, likely, so that's the 30K minimum. Well, at least, if we're below or above that, we're going to try to come back to that every so often as we have all the way up, okay? So that's why 33K isn't crazy. It sounds crazy to me, but it's not that crazy. It's actually pretty conservative considering where the median of this trend has been over the past year. The other thing is these quarterlies, call it just natural human bias, call it like inflow, outflow of capital. I don't know, call it OKEX, OKCoin, quarterly futures. I don't care, doesn't matter. There's something here. Whether or not you can trade off of it solely, probably not. Whether or not it should be in the back of your mind, I think so. So again, it's sort of flat or like an inflection point, then it goes up, sort of flat, inflection point, goes up, flat, inflection point. By the end of this quarter, it's probably going to be near the median at minimum, which is at least above 15, right? It's hard for me to draw that across. The point is, I'm bullish AF on the next quarter. So we've got cloud, we've got this inverted head and shoulders that could really spark a lot of things, and there's just a lot of momentum fundamentally going on right now with all the on-ramps coming online, and all the central bankers hate it, so I'm in. All my chips, they're in, I'm ready. Let me know what you guys think. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, hit me up on Twitter, Telegram, and happy trading.